Hey everybody, the third man duck here. Today, I tried animating at different frames per second. Different frames per second allow for different styles of animation. To begin with, I started at 8 frames per second. 8 frames per second seems to have a more blocky look, and some people are really good at this 8 frames per second, but I normally do 15 frames per second, so the easing in and easing out was a bit rough. Our final clip looked a little bit like this. I love the explosion at the end. Next, I tried animating at 12 frames per second. And since, like I said, I normally animate at 15 frames per second, 12 frames per second was pretty easy. I feel like the main difference between 8 and 12 is that 12 has a more realistic look, whereas 8 is more blocky. You can almost see the frames. It makes a very cartoony look. Whereas 12, it adds more realism. This is our final product. I thought the gunshots were a cool effect. Next, I tried animating at 15 frames per second. And 15 frames per second, like I said, is what I normally animate at. So, it probably looked the best one out of them all. But a little side note that I noticed is that the difference between 12 to 15 is not as drastic as the difference between 8 to 12. And I think that's because 12 to 15 are still in the same style of animation. This is our final product. Next, I tried animating at 20 frames per second. And that was really hard. To demonstrate just how difficult it is to do 20 frames per second all the time, I decided to do a walk cycle frame by frame. As you can see, it takes so many frames to take a single step, which is why I have so much respect for people who do 20 frames per second all the time. This is it in real time. It's almost too fast. Anyways, subscribe, be sure to hit that like, and I'll see you next time.